You listen to the podcast knowing that you're listening to the podcast, and the podcast knows you're listening. And when you listen, you know you're listening, and then you listen, and then it's today on the ManSpace. Welcome to the ManSpace podcast. We're your hosts, Doctors Matt Brown and Rob Porter, and clinical therapist Mike Porter. Welcome, spacemen. That was a little mindfulness for you.
That's all right. That's from the section, The Foundations of Mindfulness.
No, he does do it. I thought
he does it a little
times.
bit. He does. But like I said, that section,
yeah,
The Foundations of Mindfulness,
you'll have to read it later because it was
so freaking ridiculous.
Dude, side note, I just noticed I've got this jumping spider.
Gross.
That
like you have it like a pet?
Like it was in my office yesterday. Steve. Have you ever seen there's like TikTokers that have pet jumping spiders and they like behave a little bit like pets. But this guy was hanging out here yesterday and kept like circling around my wall. And then at one point he came up on my desk and was just like, "Hey man." I was like, what's going on? And then I can't remember what like a piece of paper or something to get him on that, and then he just jumped off. But now he's back, just staring at me from over there.
You don't kill him, huh?
No.
Mm.
I've also had like a
love
fest going on in my courtyard. Like love bugs everywhere, dude.
Love bugs?
What do you call them? Love bugs?
The bugs that
love bugs?
Love each other and fly together because they're loving each other.
Like dragonflies?
No. You've never seen love bugs?
No.
They like fly around mating all the time.
I've seen dragonflies.
Look up, look up love bugs, dude. But my whole courtyard was full of them yesterday. And they're still going on out there.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah, and yikes. They have made it in a couple times. So I had to escort them out.
You're so much nicer than I am with bugs.
Yeah, escorting out. I'm not doing that.
Like I used to work with a guy who I used to work with a guy who would do that. He would like find a spider and let the spider go out, and I was like, "Nope, sorry, I'm killing it."
I kill cockroaches and flies. That's my ethical code.
You draw the line at anything.
Draw the line at cockroaches and flies.
I don't know what it is about cockroaches. So
they scream when you. They don't really, but
I've had multiple bad interactions with cockroaches, like dozens, and possibly, we'll just say dozens,
scores, possibly hundreds.
Not possibly, because I did one night in Auburn. I think I've mentioned this story before. That I killed. This just counting what I killed. I don't know what my wife killed. They were little, like the little guys, like water bug type cockroaches. But I killed, I think, 116.
In your house?
It was in Auburn. It was in the dorm they put us in, and finally I found the nest. Like I pulled the fridge back and then opened the thing above the fridge, and there was an old phone book, and they had nested inside this phone book.
Oh.
And so we bombed the thing like twice, and Whitney was like 5 months old, and so we like sprayed this barrier line to her room and then sprayed a little thing all underneath her bed. I probably freaking gave her some sort of poisoning. I don't know. It was a real treat. Alabama. It's a place to be. Here's one TV show recommendation for you, by the way, because I like to do that apparently on every episode. There's a show on Netflix called Norseman. It's a little inappropriate, maybe. Dude,
so a lot inappropriate.
They filmed it twice. They filmed it in Norwegian and then also in English. It is incredible to me that they found this many people who are this funny in English. Like, it is so, like, I just don't know, like, how would their humor translate? It's so funny.
I would not have thought funny. from Norseman.
No, dude, I know you wouldn't, but it is so dry funny. Oh my gosh, dude, it's so good.
Is it one word or two?
One word. If you look it up on IMDb, the picture that shows up is the word in Norwegian.
Like Viking Gain or something like that?
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, dude. It's funny. Super funny. Watch
How
it.
did you find this?
I don't remember. I saw it on Netflix and then I watched an episode or two. I think partway into episode 2, I was like, this is a little dodgy. It wasn't bad, but like, And then Becky watched it on her own when she was running, and she's like, "You got to see this show called Norseman." It's like, did you not make it to episode 2?
Wait, she watched it when she was running?
Yeah, on a treadmill.
Oh.
She holds her little phone while she's running down the street.
I was like,
one could only hope. Anyway, I see Mike's deep into reading about it. It's very, very funny. Like they all deliver their lines so perfectly. It's so dry. It's so good. So get on board. And scene.
okay.
Well, I guess we should talk about our book.
Yeah.
And I should tell you in advance, Mike.
Mm-hmm. We're having a lot of mindful pauses.
That's what it is.
That's what I'm going to start calling it.
I meant to tell Matt and I talked about this.
Slow. I walk mindfully.
Matt and I talked about maybe we'll take a break from the formality of doing books for a minute. Like instead being like, hey, here's a book I read. Let's all do this book. But we'll.
You want to know what's funny?
What? You thought the same thing?
Well, so mine was just different. Like for this last book, I almost just wanted, because I was thinking about you're such an idiot. I was thinking about the books that like guys read.
Uh-huh.
And I thought we should just read one of those and like talk about the books guys read. So I almost suggested that for a book, but then I also just thought, yeah, why aren't we doing things like movies or TV shows?
I think we could do that.
We could just do it and make it less formal. Just be like, hey, let's talk about this time because I watched this show.
Yeah.
I'll throw this out. Did you guys see Project Hail Mary?
Yes.
Not yet, but I read the book a long time ago.
You read the book. I think the book actually is more applicable this way, but I've used it a couple times in couples therapy since because there's a lot of good parallels between him and Rocky for couples.
Okay.
I am reading Freddie and Frederica.
Dude, so good.
Nice. Have you read that, Matt? So
I've never laughed so hard in my life reading a book.
I had been reading a lot of, like, for lack of a better phrase, like dude books, which are very plot driven.
Mm-hmm.
And so I struggled a little bit getting into this because it took me a bit to realize it's not a plot driven book. It is like 100% character. No, it is not plot driven.
There's a quest.
It has a plot. It is not plot driven.
Dude, you missed the whole funny part about Craig Vivian in the beginning.
No, I didn't. I loved it. Like, I thought it was funny. It just took me a minute to like to shift from what I had been reading to that. And like now, like I find myself often laughing out loud at, in particular, Freddie is so ridiculous.
Yep. That's awesome. I was reading out loud to Becky and I couldn't stop laughing.
So that's the funny thing to me. Have you actually heard it?
I've read and listened to it. Yes, both.
I think the audio, there would be too many words that I would mispronounce. That this guy, like hearing him, I think, no, it's way funnier if I'm not having to be the guy who pronounces that stuff. Like even just his name, Mufumuwak. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like it's just like or when he's chasing the dog.
I know.
Like it is.
Couldn't stop laughing at that part.
So absolutely ridiculous. But this is why I brought it up. There are a handful of things where I've thought, that there's actually some applicable
Well, that's
to like the nature of relationships and yeah.
I do think that's more valuable to like this book that we're talking about today. I was actually listening thinking I like some of the principles I'm getting out of this, but I think most people on this show would be like boring.
And that it's too
clinical.
No, although it is that. I can't think of another word except to say it's too froofy.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you talking about this book we just read, or just these books we've been reading?
This book we just read.
The book we just read, and that's what it's interesting in comparison to the book that we read before this one, the 10% Happier, because he talks about like meditation doesn't have to be so froofy.
Yeah, pretty much.
When you're talking about dude books, though, who was this interview with? It was an episode of Smartless, but Will Arnett was Benedict Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch.
I guess they are making a movie of it, or maybe it's like in the early stages of talking about possibly doing that, but this book called Rogue Male. And so they were both like, oh, Rogue Male. It's like the ultimate dude book. I read it and I'm like, I don't get it. I mean, it's kind of like pre-James Bond.
It's 1939.
Yeah, it's old, but it's kind of like the tail end of this book, where it's just so meticulously kind of cataloging everything that he does. And he does go through like some really horrible stuff he's enduring a lot of hardship. But I'm like, yeah, this is getting real old quick. So I'm interested.
They already
interested to see what the movie would be. They did make a movie of it?
Previously.
A TV movie with Peter O'Toole, directed by Clive Donner of the Donner family.
And they do have
he's still
not that
it's
Donner
listed
family.
It's listed on Cumberbatch's thing as in development.
Okay.
Anyway. Well, I think that's why I wanted to read that one book, The Destiny of the Republic, because I feel like any book you read, if you're looking for it, you'll not any book, but most books you'll find principles that's like, well, yeah, apply this. So, and it's more palatable to get it from those things than it is from really boring, repetitive self-help books.
What do you think about self-help books?
Too late. You already said it, Rob.
What do I think about self-help books?
I think you just said it.
Oh, I don't like them.
Boring,
like 5
repetitive.
They are. Even the good ones are boring and repetitive. Tell the one I write. That one's going to be really good. Everybody wait. Hold your breath. That's what's going to be called. Hold your breath. Just kidding. All right. So this book that we read is called The Miracle of Mindfulness, right? By Thich Nhat Hanh. Did I say that right?
No. Not even close.
Not even close?
I mean, not that I know how to say it. I've just always heard Thich Nhat Hanh, but
yeah. We can just refer to Han.
Oh. Or the author.
There you go.
Yeah, but Han, then I might be able to think that I'm talking about Han Solo. And that's more fun.
Okay. Yeah.
First question. So, is it a miracle?
Mike?
Well, so like as I was sitting here reading it, because I think mindfulness for me has become a little bit like math did, where it just felt like I must be missing something. Surely it's more complicated than this. Right? Like with math,
any moron can do this.
with math, like when I taught adults, and these were people who had, like, I was teaching them 5th and 6th grade math, right? These were people who had really struggled with it, and we would talk about, like, a lot. You know, most of you have had experiences that teach you that math is hard. And I said, so you think it's supposed to be hard, and so then it's a struggle for you to accept the simplicity of math. Because in your mind, like I'm going to present it and you're going to think that's simple. I must be missing something. You're not. Just do it. And inevitably they would come back and be like, oh my gosh, this is so simple. I was like, yeah, it was. They're like, why wasn't it this simple when I was a kid? And I said, it was this simple when you were a kid. Like, right. And so I think that's part of why I wanted to read this book, is because I think I had fallen into the trap of the art of mindfulness seems so ridiculously simple. I must be missing something. There must be something about implementing it that to me, I hadn't clued into yet. And that was right. So is it a miracle? Yes. In its simplicity.
I think it is. Like, admittedly, this book, I mean, it got me. I would listen to it while I was riding my bike, and so it got me paying attention a lot to my breath and noticing like the cadence of how long is my breath versus my inhale versus my exhale, and thinking about when he talks about, and then you're noticing you're taking a long breath in, and then you're taking, it's like, okay, but it made me think like along the lines of like the miracle to me of mindfulness is I think you will get more out of your life and lived experiences if you're mindful. Like I've thought before, like money and providing for my family has always been my biggest worry, which we've talked about many times on this episode, on this show. And it makes me sad to think that one day I'll retire and I'll look back and think, oh man, I spent that whole time worrying about whether or not I'd make it. And what did I miss by spending that time worrying about I'll make it? Even thinking about at some point this show will end, we'll stop doing this and we'll do something else, or
cat's out of the bag now.
I didn't say it. I said one day, and I thought, well, I look back and think, I wasn't as present as I wanted to be during those things. Like I think mindfulness makes life livable and enjoyable. Like I'm washing the dishes, so that's what I'm doing right now. Or as he puts it, you're on the toilet. So that's the most important thing I can do right now is be on the toilet. That's all.
Well,
you want to say, go ahead. You're allowed.
Well, I didn't want to step on Matt, who hasn't said anything yet.
I wanted to step on Matt.
But I like, for me, I've become, like we've talked about it on here before. I think I've talked about it with both of you outside of the show. The idea that as people, we tend to look so much for, like, we're just trying to get from whatever struggle or trial we're in to this moment of happiness and peace. And I've become increasingly convinced, like, we're missing the whole point. Like, this is it. Like, we should stop trying to get out of it as fast as we can and simply learn to experience it.
Yeah.
And that's as we've read these last two books, and this one a little bit more, right? Like, I did appreciate that about this, that it did kind of introduce me a little bit more to the philosophy behind it, where Dan Harris didn't necessarily talk about the philosophy of it.
Yeah, Dan Harris's is more about meditation,
right?
And this one's more about mindfulness,
right?
Yeah.
And so I really appreciated that, but just that idea of, like, no, this is the moment I'm in, and I, like, even if I wanted to be, I can't be in another moment. This is where I'm at. Like, me wishing for more clients or more money or more retirement, like sitting there, like, it doesn't take me out of the moment I'm in, not in a literal way. Like, it'll take my mind out, and I'll sit and chase things that I have no control over at the present moment, and nothing's happening. There's a line in a Billy Joel song, I was dreaming of tomorrow, so I sacrificed today. And I think, yeah, like, you get so focused on this thing that you forget that this is the moment I'm in, good or bad, whether I enjoy the experience or not, this is the experience I'm having. So I should just have it.
I think it's really interesting too. When you do that, I think it's much easier to actually enjoy even the moment that you're not enjoying.
Yeah.
Because you're not comparing it to like what you wish it could be or what you
Right.
should be, or
It is just the moment.
Yeah. So what can I get out of this? And I do the same thing when I talk with clients. I just don't call it mindfulness, but the idea of telling somebody like, look, if you're not going anywhere and this is the marriage you have, how are you going to like it? Like,
yeah,
how are you going to stop hating your partner and actually like just start to see something of value in this and why you picked this person and what you like about them? That's just a mindfulness technique mixed with gratitude, I guess. I don't know. Matt, is it a miracle?
Everything you've said is miraculous.
Oh, the mindfulness is not, but what you said was.
I would say the miracle is like what you've said. How easy it is for us to forget, and like the miracle is remembering everything you just said. Like to me, those have been the most meaningful moments where it's like everything that's right in front of me is already enough, and how easy it is to kind of get pulled from that. And I do think that's why, as simple as the ideas are, I think we're like massive inflators of our sense of intelligence. Because like we're like, it's not complicated enough to be worthy of my brain power and my but it's like it's like we're so dumb that we forget it all the time. And then remembering it is like it's I guess the experience probably more than like the thinking about it. Because in theory, it's simple. In practice, it's insanely hard. Like walk around and look at anybody anywhere and how distracted, how checked out, how like over anxious or, whatever. Like we're all like almost existing in some other plane that isn't even where our bodies are, if that makes sense, all the time. So yeah, I think I guess if I would say it's miraculous, right? It's like that experience of truly being present with something as simple as like when he's talking about washing the dishes, like wash the dishes to wash the dishes, or like do this to do this, right? Don't wash the dishes so that you can go, sit down and watch something. Slowing down enough to just move at the pace of life. And I think by and large, the things that are happening around us that actually matter, that support everything, are the things that are the most fulfilling. But just be like, we habituate so quickly to what's a given in life that I think we forget all the time that that's really where we find the most satisfaction, is in like the mundane. And we're kind of just taking it all for granted, right? That like, and then disappointed when something at the very tip top, highest echelon of the existence we've created falls apart. It's like, do you realize everything else underneath that is still functioning, right? Like you're still breathing. Like as simple as come back to your breath, like, hey, you're still alive, right? And but I think it's just I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, because it's not miraculous. It's almost like pathetic, maybe. How easy it is. Like how easy it is for us to forget and like drift, and how frequently we have to remember and be brought back. And people that remember more frequently and more often, like you can tell. It's like, oh, like the true score of everything. I can see it in the way that you're operating, but the rest of us are just kind of floating around in meaninglessness.
No, it's funny because I think about various things in my life that I've done mindfully and some not mindfully. And the difference between the two, like this last weekend, I cleaned all the windows in my house. And this time, not intentionally, I think because I've been sometimes I get bored in the evening, like, what am I doing? And so I've been looking for like projects to do that I'm not in a hurry to finish a project so I can go do something else. It's like, I'm doing this project now. So I was cleaning the windows, and because I wasn't in a hurry to be finished with it, it was just like, no, I'm cleaning the windows now. It felt kind of like relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, I've thought about this on another time is road trips, where my mindset is like, I just got to get to this point, like, and then I can get my kids out of the car and this. And so the whole time I'm thinking, oh my gosh, 4 more hours. Instead of like actually, if this is possible, enjoying the views that New Mexico offers me.
It is not
possible.
New Mexico is always the place where my road trip theory falls apart in New Mexico every time.
I think the hard part is, though, every time you guys same route, it's always right through the middle and then up. And like when I've taken trips to northern New Mexico and southern New Mexico, I'm like, this place is awesome.
That's in the middle. What I've heard.
I've done northern and I haven't really thought that was awesome. But
what part of northern though?
The corner, the northern corner,
the part
like Santa Fe, all that stuff.
Not Santa Fe, but like no, I've done. I can't remember. Like, it's closer to places like Ruidoso and things like that. But
yeah, it sucks. No, like
well, people go
Santa
there all the time. They love this place.
Santa Fe. Well, dude, people in Lubbock go there.
It's true. Everything's better than Lubbock.
So their comparison.
People in Lubbock are amazing.
But here's the
geography, not so much.
That I think about that has helped me. Like I thought, oh, if I was on my bike here, like outside on my bike, I would love this, because you get it like on a bike when you're out, you just get to see forever. I don't know what it is about being on a bike, to me, on like a smooth asphalt road, feels amazing. And so sometimes I'm riding and I can put myself in that space and thought, oh, this is pretty in that context.
Everything worked about that until you said smooth asphalt roads in the context of New Mexico.
All right, fine. So here's what we're saying today, spacemen, is that you can be mindful anywhere but the land of enchantment. But so I say that because I think when I've done that, it does make me feel like I can do this same experience and rush through it, or I can just say, well, this is the experience I'm having. Like, and when I do that, like on a road trip, maybe not in New Mexico, but in other places, it's like, I'm much more open to stop at some random gas station, be like, did you see that thing that they have here? Like where you stop and see the world's largest ball of twine or whatever the thing is. It's like, cause that's the moment you're in. So just be in that moment, like there's no need to hurry to the next thing. Just be here. And I think it just, for me, it feels like not only does it make the experiences better, it just makes life feel a little less stressed. Like, because this is where I am.
Well, so that's, I was talking with a guy today, and it was virtual, and I was in the session. He hadn't come in yet. And so I was like, oh, I'll write a case note. I had a case note to do. And so I started writing, and he came in, and like normally I would just go and be in the session. But I was writing on my phone, and I thought, no, I don't trust the app to save this accurately if I like leave it. And so I just said, hey, he came in, and I just said, hey, just hang on a second. Would you?
Would you?
And I apologized. I said, sorry, that was pretty unprofessional of me. And then as we were talking through the thing, I thought, no, actually, if I had stopped and just put it down, I would have spent a few minutes at least worrying about, was it going to save? I'm going to have to rewrite all that. Like, and I thought, in taking the extra minute to just finish the section I was in, I didn't finish the case note. I just finished the section I was in and saved it so that I knew that's it. It's done. I was able to immediately just engage with him. And it was, and then as we were talking, he was expressing feeling overwhelmed and feeling like he's being much more reactionary. He's like, I don't feel like I'm like consciously choosing things. He's like, I feel like I'm just reacting to situations over and over again. And we talked about that idea of just pausing and saying, to a child, to a coworker, to whoever, and just saying, hey, I need a second. Let me finish this thing that I'm on so that I can engage here. And even once, like if you're engaged with your kid and your kid's like, Dad, why is this thing happening? Pausing and saying, hey, let me make sure I've got a handle on what you're talking about. Like, because kids, as we've all experienced, tend to feel urgency in everything. And at least for me, I don't know if this is true for the two of you, but it was for me and the guy I was talking to today. We like, if I'm surrounded by people who feel an urgency, it's pretty hard for me to not pick up on that urgency and act accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a lot of effort. Like, I've had to teach myself very consciously to say, hey, let me pause for a second so I can make sure I'm seeing what you're seeing. Even though they don't want to pause, they just want this done. But that idea of just slowing down and saying, hang on, let me make sure I've got this. It's going to change the nature of the conversation. It's going to change how I feel about the conversation, for starters, because it's not just something to get through all of a sudden. It is like, no, this is the thing I'm doing. So I'm going to do it fully. I'm going to engage in it fully. I'm not going to think about, here's the next thing. This is the thing I'm doing right now.
It's funny how hard it is. I've thought about it multiple times in this little podcast episode, being like, well, just be here. And then my brain wanders off into what I'm doing next. And I'm like, no, just now. It comes back. But here's an interesting thing I thought too, reading this, was because I've been meditating daily for, I don't know, whenever it was I told you guys I was going to. So like 2 months and a half. I've missed a day or two here and there, but I've noticed that some of my meditations, I'm like, all right, I got to power through this meditation real quick. It's like, what a freaking waste. Now, I think part of why I was doing it was because I recognize that what I'm trying to do is get the routine going. So it's like, I'm powering, quote unquote, powering through because I just need to have this routine in place. That's just me giving myself a break. But I just think, what a waste. Like, you can meditate and not be mindful about your meditation. And so I think that part matters to me. It's like, well, make sure that when you meditate, that's all you're doing. That's all you're there for. So I've had to make sure that, like one of these, it's actually Dan Harris's app, the 10% Happier app. Sometimes as I'm listening, as I'm doing my meditation, it will just get quiet for a minute, which meditations do. I'm like, well, this is a long quiet. And then I look down and it's just stopped. Which I'm like, crap, because I usually, sometimes I'm like timing it. I've got this long before my next session. I'm going to meditate real quick. And just thinking, it's funny how meditation is just a way to approach, to me, it's like a way to approach mindfulness, but you can't, like, I guess you can meditate without being mindful. It's just kind of a funny thing to me of like, I guess actually, maybe I'm jumping ahead too soon, but I'll throw mine out early. You guys don't have to do yours yet, but this is my tip for the tri-tip, was that, like, I understand that this book would not be for everybody. And I understand that, Mike, as you put it, mindfulness sometimes sounds frou-frou. But I think, yeah, but really another way of putting this is just saying, look, whatever you do, just put meaning into it. Make it meaningful and significant. Like, I'm doing this now, so this is what I'm doing. Like what you're saying, Mike, it's like, let me just finish this thing and then I'll talk with you so I can be present with you. You make each thing meaningful. And that's what mindfulness is. It sounds different than saying, like, and you listen as you listen, and you know that you are listening. It's like, just listen. Like, you know?
Well, and that's like one of the things that that he mentions in the book kind of early on that was pretty significant for me is he talked about I think it was a tangerine.
Yeah. The guy's eating the next slice before he's even finished the next one.
Yeah, like he's already got it ready in his hand to put in his mouth, and he's not even done chewing this, and he's talking the whole time. And at some point, Han says, "What are you doing?" And he's like, well, I'm eating a tangerine. He goes, then eat the tangerine.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're not eating the tangerine. He's like, you're doing this and this and this. And he goes, put the tangerine down and eat the tangerine. And so the guy did. He put the tangerine down and he sat and just ate the tangerine. And like, it was just this idea. And then there was another part, I think it was the same guy actually, who was talking about being frustrated because all of these people come and ask for his time. And he's like, and I don't have time for myself, which all of us have had moments where we feel like I don't have time for myself, or when we do, it's like, great, but now my time for myself, I have to use washing the windows or cleaning the dishes or whatever. And it's like, this is what I wanted to do with my time. And he talked about this idea like, no, that is what you're choosing to do with your time.
Yeah. My time with my kids is my time.
It is your time. It's how you're choosing to spend your time. And that's like, we've talked before on here, or I have at least. Like I'm always,
man once said,
I'm always intrigued by the idea of like power. And it's and it's interesting to me because I think, when we do that, when we say like, they're taking my time, I'm giving away my power. I'm not acknowledging the fact that, no, this is how I chose to spend my time.
I'm giving you my time. I'm sharing my time with you.
Right. Or I'm choosing to use my time to clean this space because it will, like a lot of the cleaning I do, I just do it because I like to have clean things.
Mm-hmm.
Does it benefit the rest of the family? Sure. But it's like, I just like clean things.
Yeah. I do it for me.
But yeah. So when I sit and think, no, I'm doing this because I like the clean. Then I get frustrated less when and it's just recognizing, no, this is how I'm choosing to use my time. And that was for me, that was a big, just kind of making that connection of, here are these tasks that I have to do. Well, no, a lot of them I don't have to do. Once a week I have activities with young men and youth. And is it my favorite? Generally, no, it is not. I still can't get the stupid campfire smell off of my body from last night. It's driving me nuts. It's I don't know where it is. Anyway, it's driving me nuts. But
I smell you right now.
Right? See, I'm telling you.
Wash your beard?
What? Yeah,
Did
twice.
You wash your beard?
3. Oh. I watched it twice last night. I watched it more this morning.
Okay.
I think it's in my watch band. It's my watch band's leather. Anyway, it doesn't matter. My point is, I didn't have to say yes to the assignment. I could have said no. I chose to say yes to it. And the more I recognize, no, it is like, they're not taking my time. I chose to use the time for this. Like I did that last night when I was getting, okay, I got to do this. And I was like, no, this is how I'm choosing to spend my time. I'm choosing to spend my time teaching 5, 11, 12, and 13-year-olds how to handle a hatchet and chop wood and build a log cabin because they're way better than teepees, but whatever.
Dude, lean-to. Someone taught me that one. I was like, that one's the best.
I'm unfamiliar, I guess.
Me too. They made a little pile of stuff like this, and they leaned a bunch of sticks like this. It worked way better. Got maximum coverage, man. I was like, lean-to. Who knew? Anyway, sorry. I digress.
No, but just that idea of recognizing my choice and the decisions that I made, and recognizing that, no, this is still my time. They're not taking anything from me.
Yeah.
That was for me, at least, one of my big takeaways from this was just kind of recognizing or choosing to, when you're feeling frustrated, recognizing, no, these are the choices I made. And it is still my time. So,
my town.
You're my town. Where we have Mike is just be periodically like, you're my time.
which, by the way, no one ever gets when I say it. Someone says something like, "You're my town," and they just look at me. And I'm like, "Oh, right, you guys."
This is not from anybody but Matt, right?
I know
It's just me. Although later it's Kramer says it in Seinfeld.
Does he really?
Yeah. I can't remember what episode, but it's not quite the same. But he does say something like "my town." So.
Okay. I just love that when I would go. I used to try to buy my own candy bars down in Houston. I'd be like, "You're my town." All right. Did you have a tri-tip, boys?
Wait, was that your tip?
Yeah, Mike, was that your tip?
Yes, we'll call it my tip.
So choose to recognize these are your choices and make them.
Choose to recognize that. How your time is spent is your time.
Yeah, that's mindfulness. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Matt.
Oh, mine's gonna be real Thich Nhat Hanh-ish. Just pick. Well, let me say this first. I'm just going to go out and throw out a stat that's probably not correct, but for the sake of the argument, it will be. Probably like 97% of stuff is not urgent.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah. So there are some things, obviously, like if someone's bleeding out or whatever, like those,
right.
You got to act
some actual
quick.
Life or death situations.
Yeah. But even, even like preferences of, being on time for something, which is a good thing, but whatever. Just assume like I'm probably experiencing way more urgency than is actually necessary. So pick a task and deliberately do it half speed until the anxiety goes down, and just experience that downshifting and, see if you can expand it to more and more things in your life, but pick something mundane, right? And just deliberately do it half as fast or 50% slower. And, just see what you notice. I think, like you were saying, with things around the house, home projects, all sorts of other things, I think I was making a mistake with my cycling at first.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have ridden from I think I learned to ride a bike when I was like 3.5 or 4. So I've been on bikes of different kinds for a long time, like BMX for a long time, and then mountain biking, and then I got a car, and all my friends were like, dude, we're gonna still ride. It's like, and we stopped. But then we'd take our mountain bikes places, and I've done long trips for high adventure stuff. We did the San Juan Islands on bikes, and then a up over the Cascades one, and things like that. But watching some videos where it was you should be 80% of the time on your bike should be stupidly easy, and then 20%, push yourself to your limits. So I was kind of riding to work, trying to push myself the whole time. And then after a week, I'm like, this blows. I can't even get out of bed. But then this morning, it's I, have slowed down, not necessarily in how I'm pedaling, but the ease, right? So I'm doing it with a lot less effort. And it's something as simple as oh, there's a bird, right? And the birds are awake with me, and just things that you just don't even notice, that when I think about it, it's holy crap, so many other animals and forms of life are just waking up, and they're not freaking out about getting to work. They're not freaking out about all these things that could easily flood my mind. And as far as I know, they're making it through the day, right? And they're all right, right? their bird marriages are probably just as good as mine. So I don't know. I just think slowing down, you notice things that about your own reactions, and you notice things around you that are really important. So 50%, slow it down.
Mike's got a fourth tip
Bonus
again.
tip. I do. I know. I'm going to make it a fork again.
We're forking all the time.
I'm really sorry. No, this is less of a tip and more of just, like, if you'd asked me to explain mindfulness prior to reading this book, I would have said it's just, like an awareness of your environment and things like that. Reading this, I think, no, it's not just an awareness. I think there's also an aspect of non-judgment to it. These are the things I'm experiencing. They're not good or bad. They are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're in the experience. Okay. You don't have to like every single experience. That doesn't make it a bad experience just because you don't like it. It's just, you don't like it. Okay. Cool. So don't like it. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you anything. So I do think that was, like, as I was listening, that realization of, like, right, it's important to become aware. It's also important not to judge our reaction to what's going on, to view it as for what it is. Like, it's just a reaction. So see, it wasn't really a tip. It's still just a tri-tip.
It's like a tri-tip with a little weird nub on the end. Little primordial tail. So, spacemen, take a deep breath. Know that you're breathing. Breathe it back out. Know that you're breathing. And catch us next time on the ManSpace. How am I not myself?